CNN was finally truthful for once, and you know it's bad when even they can't spin it. A new CNN poll just dropped, and it's a straight-up nightmare for Democrats. A majority of Americans are done. Done with the economy, done with inflation, done with the broken border, and done with the Democrat Party as a whole. This is Andy with TrendingPolitics.com. Hit like, subscribe, and let's get into this.
Brand new CNN poll out today shows that Democrats' favorability among Americans is at its lowest point in the history of CNN's polling back to 1992. Only 28% of Americans view the Democratic Party favorably. How can you guys turn that around?
I think you have to find, there'll never be a real party leader until we have a nominee for president, but we are moving into a midterms. And CNN has been covering who is motivated to show up in a midterm in the latest polling. And there's a lot of motivation there. I can go back to remember working in the 1996 congressional elections when we were trying to make up for just losing like 60 seats. After a president's elected, normally we do well. And I think that's what we're looking towards the future.
And Brian, what do you think? I mean, it is true. 72% of Democrats and Democratic-aligned voters say they are motivated to go in the midterms. How does your party tap in to Republican enthusiasm that right now seems wanting in a lot of ways?
You know, listen, I think we go back to what's always worked for us. Promises made, promises kept. As of right now, inflation is lower today than when President Trump took office. Gas prices are lower today than when President Trump took office. You know, the price of eggs are lower. So he's going to make the economic message. We just need to make sure that it extends for another year and a half so that the voters continue to feel it. But I think that's the only way is, you know, we made a promise to the American people. We've delivered on these promises, and that's what should be character. We'll see if it carries.
I'm sure you have something to say about the promises made, promises kept.
Look, if you talk to people right now about the big, beautiful bill that was passed and folks getting lost off of Medicare and SNAP, that by itself will be enough for me to run every midterm election I need to win.
What about your concerns, if any, about MAGA being so upset about the failure to release the Epstein files and the fact that Elon Musk comes out, says Donald Trump is in the Epstein files, which I have personally no evidence of, but he did say that. And then a month later, Pam Bondi and the Justice Department put out this document saying nothing to see here, folks. And a lot of people in MAGA world, as I don't need to tell you, Tucker Carlson all the way down, are very upset about this.
I mean, listen, we're 2 weeks into this. It doesn't seem like it's going to be stopped. I think the president has to figure out what type of valve that he can release so that some movement takes place, because the status quo is just not working within the base. Even going further, you know, my mother, you know, she only speaks Spanish, watches Spanish language, liberal to the extreme. She's asking me about the Epstein files and say, why isn't Donald Trump released?
How do you say Epstein files in Spanish?
I don't even know.
Epstein files?
Yeah, Epstein files.
What I was going to say is midterms are only about one thing. They've always been about one thing. It's motivation, because a big group of people don't show up to vote in an off-year election.
Right.
Motivation right now to me is more important than popularity. I think you will find your local candidate who they'll like, who's running for Congress or a candidate, and that's the biggest difference. Is we have to keep our people motivated, and every time Epstein or even giving war or giving things to Ukraine will make them mad. Hell, they're even mad because they think that Superman is woke. There's something making their base mad every day.
Do you agree with that?
Listen, I think our base is happy with the progress they're making, that President Trump is making. But yeah, they are frustrated with the fact that the shine, at least for 4 years, the shine of the American spirit was harmed by Joe Biden, whether it's their domestic policies, whether it's border policies or anything. And so they're eager to have that restored. They see President Trump doing. They just wish more was happening.
And just like that, cue the circus. Democrats are flailing so hard, they literally are walking out of Senate hearings now, screaming, boycotting, throwing tantrums, all because Trump dared to nominate somebody who doesn't play by their broken rules. And what's their excuse this time? He's too loyal to the guy actually fixing the country. Give me a break. Roll the clip.
Why are you doing this? This is outrageous.
This is a kangaroo court. That's all we have here,
This
Mr.
is
Chairman.
wrong. This is us simply trying to rush through one of the most controversial nominees we've had under this presidential administration. What is Donald Trump saying to you that are making you do something which is violating the decorum of this committee?
Democrats walking out of a Senate Judiciary Committee meeting and boycotting the vote on Emil Bovee. That's President Trump's former personal attorney and now nominee for a lifetime appeals court appointment. Bovee had recently been vexed by a whistleblower complaint that alleges he said in a March meeting the Justice Department would, quote, need to consider telling the courts, F you, unquote, if they stood in the way of Trump's deportation efforts. And joining us now is a member of the Judiciary Committee, Democratic Senator Peter Welch of Vermont. Senator, thank you so much for being here. You, of course, part of this today. How do you think that walking out in this instance helps the overall cause here?
You know, I'm not sure it did, because Bove got appointed. He got the vote of the Republicans. But the reason we had to walk out is that we were shut down. The rules explicitly allow for a vote on a point of order. And Chairman Grassley, who I have a great deal of respect for, let us down today. And it was because they wanted to shove through this nomination of a person who is extraordinarily unqualified, and his only qualification is his personal and deep loyalty to whatever it is Donald Trump wants. So we got shut down. We were there just as tokens, not as deliberative senators who had a chance to raise the concerns that are just very powerful and legitimate concerns about Bove. So very disappointing. Bad day for the Judiciary Committee. My view, bad day for the Senate. The night before was a bad day for the whole Senate as well, and the whole appropriations process.
Sir, it also does underscore the degree to which Democrats don't have tools at their disposal to fight back against President Trump's agenda, which of course voters are telling us in our polls they're unhappy with the party. I mean, some of the lowest approval ratings for the party in over 30 years. What else can you do?
I don't need to wait for some panelist to answer how the Democrat Party can revamp their brand. I've got the list right here. For a party that's so woke, they really need to wake up, because America voted loud and clear. And here's what we said. We don't want open borders. We don't want illegal immigration. We don't want drag shows in elementary schools. We don't want men in women's sports. We don't want higher taxes or another dollar sent to Ukraine. We don't want our kids taught that America is evil. We don't want criminals coddled while cops get demonized. We don't want forced pronouns, endless mandates for masking or vaccines, or clown world bureaucrats lecturing us about climate change while flying private jets to their climate change summits. What do we want? A secure border. Energy independence. We want police respected. We want parents back in charge. We want lower prices, safer streets, and a government that works for us, not against us. That's not radical. That's common sense. But apparently, common sense is now a revolutionary act in Democrat circles. This poll isn't a fluke. It's a 5-alarm fire for the Democrat Party. The American people were fed up. And the more the left ignores us, and the more the left ignores this problem, the worse it's going to get for them. If the Democrats want to stop bleeding, here's a crazy idea. Try listening. Try enforcing the law. Try acting like Americans instead of globalist shills running every single cover for every fringe activist with a megaphone. Or don't. Keep melting down on live TV. Keep walking out of hearings. Keep doubling down on the crazy, because every time you do, more voters walk away. And come November, they're not just going to walk. They're going to run to the ballot box to wipe your agenda off the map once and for all. This is Andy with TrendingPolitics.com. Stay informed, stay vigilant, and I'll see you next time.